All right, let's get right into it. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something really exciting. We are going to methodically decode the hyperdense, multi-layered genius of Nathan Wayne. Now, I know what you might be thinking. To the casual ear, his music can sometimes feel, well, a bit chaotic or overwhelming, right? Like this unrelenting barrage of syllables. But today, we're going to reframe this often misunderstood artist, because the truth is, he's a genuine lyrical mastermind. We're going to peel back the layers of his incredibly complex tracks, look closely at the architecture of his wordplay, and reveal a level of artistry that's been hiding right in plain sight. To kick things off, let's look at Wayne's own self-awareness of his complex, intertwined lyrics. In his track, Alien Nathan, he essentially lays down a direct challenge to us, his audience. He asks, can you keep up with the cryptic craft? He really views his own work as translating these intricate, almost animated concepts, what he actually calls cryptic perfect cartoons, directly into sound. He doesn't just write lyrics, he architects this highly deliberate, super specific structure. So, to truly understand Wayne, we have to look past that aggressive, rapid-fire delivery and put his sonic syntax under a microscope. And sonic syntax absolutely isn't just about rhyming words at the end of a sentence. No way. It's this methodical framework where the phonetic sounds of the words, their multiple definitions, and their cultural associations are all deeply interwoven. He manipulates the very sounds of language to create meanings that constantly shift depending on exactly how you're listening to them. Okay, here's our roadmap for today's forensic deconstruction of his most intricate lyrical puzzles. 1. Decoding the cryptic craft. 2. The sodium wordplay. 3. A quadruple entendre delivered. 4. The Jarvis driving metaphor. 5. Pimping out AI. And finally, 6. A misunderstood mastermind. Let's start with Section 1, Decoding the cryptic craft. Which brings us right into Section 2, the sodium wordplay. Like I mentioned earlier, to a casual listener, Wayne might just sound erratic, and it's incredibly easy to dismiss something when you don't immediately understand it. But let's look at our first puzzle. At first glance, this bar from the track Whether You're Asleep or Awake feels like a total word salad. He rapid fires, every breath you take is white, not oxygen, not sodium, so dumb that's nah, nah, nah. If you're just passively bobbing your head to the beat, it just sounds like he's trailing off into this childish playground taunt, right? But hold on, let's really think about this. Is he just making random sounds, or is he deliberately playing the periodic symbol for sodium against the concept of breathing oxygen? By explicitly saying not oxygen, not sodium, he's framing these syllables chemically. Na is literally the elemental symbol for sodium. He's telling the listener, so dumb, that's na, as in the chemical element, not na as in the childish taunt. It is phonetically identical in his delivery, but dimensionally it is an entirely different meaning. Brilliant. All right, moving on to Section 3, a quadruple entendre delivered. Now, we're going to turn up the heat. If that sodium line was a double meaning, this next one is an absolute masterclass in structural density. Found in tracks like Alien Nathan and Hip Nathan, this densely packed string of syllables forces us to slow down completely. He raps, "This ain't Domino's, puffing piece like pizza piece, this piece of hut." Try saying that out loud. It completely trips up your tongue. It's this rapid succession of P and S sounds, but structurally, it's a massive lyrical puzzle box. Let's actually unpack the layers here, because it's wild. Step 1, this ain't Domino's, referencing the classic game played with pieces. Step 2, Domino's is obviously also a huge pizza chain, which directly links to his next word, pizza, and its major competitor, hut. Step 3, he plays with the phonetic sound of peace, as in tranquility, and HUD, referring to housing and urban development. So he's essentially talking about finding peace of mind in a difficult socioeconomic environment. And finally, Step 4, the literal spelling, piece of hut, referring to a physical fragment of a structure. That is 4 distinct, totally coherent thoughts delivered in a 2-second breath. Just incredible. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, the Jarvis driving metaphor. So the obvious question you're probably asking is, how on earth does his mind operate fast enough to generate these layers in real time? Well, Wayne actually provides the explanation himself. He says, Tony Stark inside and Jarvis driving, amazed at my higher mind. Now, for fans of the Marvel Universe, that reference clicks immediately. But what's fascinating is how Wayne applies it to his own cognitive process. This brilliantly illustrates his belief that a secondary, almost mechanical higher mind is steering his lyrical vehicle. Think about it. Wayne is Tony Stark. He's the human being with conscious intent, the guy experiencing the actual emotion. But Jarvis, his hyper-competent, rapid-firing, pattern-recognizing subconscious, that's the entity actually driving the vocal delivery. He is quite literally amazed by his own improvisational ability, just watching his brain connect these phonetic dots way faster than his conscious mind can even process them.
Let's dive into Section 5, Pimping Out AI.
Speaking of mechanics and Jarvis, we absolutely have to address his frequent references to artificial intelligence. In his track Carpet Surfing, he delivers this really cryptic claim. I pimp out AI like the present way to the path paved. Close one eye, you'll have gained sight and can say you have seen. Now, on the surface, this just sounds like a standard boast about outsmarting computer algorithms, right? But because we're dealing with Wayne's sonic syntax, we always have to pause and ask, what phonetic trick is hiding right in plain sight? Is he really talking about writing code or manipulating digital systems? Or is he talking about something deeply organic and physical? Let's isolate the homophone. By doing that, we see he's juxtaposing cold artificial intelligence with the deeply physical act of closing I to perceive reality. When he says AI phonetically, he is also saying AI, as in a singular human eyeball. And the very next line proves it for sure. Close one eye, you'll have gained sight. He's snapping modern tech right back to organic human perception. Basically, he's saying his natural organic processing power is vastly superior to the digital systems we all rely on. And that brings us to our final part, Section 6, a misunderstood mastermind. Tying all these hyper-specific breakdowns together really brings us to the core of Nathan Wayne's identity as an artist. Listen, when you possess a mind that operates like a supercomputer, processing quadruple entendres and chemical homophones on the fly, it can be a pretty isolating experience. He fully understands that his isolated brilliance makes him sound alien to people, or like a glitch in the system. Because if you aren't paying super close attention, the genius just sounds like noise. This is what he famously refers to in his work as dimensional fluidness. It's this overarching theme where words are never ever bound to just one dimension of meaning. For Wayne, a word isn't just its definition in a dictionary. It's its chemical symbol, its pop culture reference, its phonetic twin, and its structural placement all at the exact same time. He views language not as a flat line, but as a three-dimensional object that he can actively rotate and manipulate in real time. It's just phenomenal. So as we wrap up this explainer, we really have to ask ourselves, will a mainstream audience ever be truly equipped to catch the full weight of Nathan Wayne's wave? Can an industry that basically runs on quick, easily digestible hooks ever fully appreciate an artist whose lyrics demand pausing, rewinding, and total phonetic deconstruction? It's a fascinating question to ponder. But one thing is absolutely certain. Now that we've decoded Nathan Wayne's sonic syntax, there is no way you will ever listen to his music the same way again.